Hey everybody, welcome to the Growing with Fishes podcast. I'm Steve, and this week we have a special guest. We have Norman, Chef Norman with us. He's a chef that works with us all the time at the Ouroboros Farms. He teaches, or not, he teaches fish as well, as far as how to prepare fish, but he also does a farm-to-table dinner with us at Ouroboros. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Steve, and hello to all the listeners. Yeah, I'm really excited to be on, and I so I'm here to tell you, really, from a chef's perspective, what chefs are looking for. And I can really speak mostly for myself, and I know I have a different heart in all of it than a lot of industry people do. Industry, and I mean restaurant industry. When I say industry, is really always dollar driven. I've been working for food or with food for about 20 years now. Actually, I was just doing the math prior to this call, and yeah, since I was 14 years old, and yeah, it's my my inspiration and my desire and my passion for it has really just blown up just in the recent years. Moving to California and then finding my way to all the farmers markets and just all the fresh produce out there. And then I happened to stumble across Ouroboros Farms, this aquaponic farm, and it just amazing produce. Now, what is so amazing about it to me is the consistency in product. Consistency is key with chefs everywhere, especially when you're getting to your high-end chefs. They're looking for, things that are down to particular sizes of inches and centimeters, like that's just so huge, as well as quality. Quality, of course, aquaponically grown. There's not really much else out there that can beat it. It's just, in my experience, again, just amazing stuff. And I'm also coming from a perspective of doing good for the land, for the earth. And aquaponics is just another surefire way that just really does Mother Nature good, does everything good. So I know I don't need to preach much about that because all you listening, I'm sure, probably already know a hell of a lot more about it than I do. But
So why don't you tell them a little bit about your background and what your
okay,
chef experience is? You've
okay.
quite accomplished.
Oh, well, thank you. So I started when I was 14 years old, washing dishes. I worked my way up. I worked in numerous restaurants, hotels, living communities. The Ritz-Carlton was my most recent employment. I now do personal chef, private banquets and catering. Yeah, I try to, my intention is to keep it simple. I'm trying to recreate my own culinary wheel here. And for the past, I don't know, 2-3 years, I've been working with Ken over at Ouroboros and now you as well, Steve, to putting on 100-mile dinners where I'm sourcing everything, every ingredient within 100 miles of Half Moon Bay. It's like, if I can't find it, I'm not going to use it. And that's been a heck of a push for me, creatively speaking, So, but it's been a really fine experience, and just getting to the roots of the food and the flavor. Somebody asked me recently, what's my inspiration, and they were expecting me to name top chef or something, and I told this person, food. Food is my inspiration. The ingredient. Every ingredient has a story. Every ingredient started somewhere, grew somewhere, was tended to, was harvested by somebody. So that's really my inspiration. And yeah, so that's a little experience mixed in with that story there. So something I did want to get to as far as selling or marketing to chefs and restaurants, and something that I love personally is going down to the farm. Now, I know a ton of chefs have no extra time whatsoever, and so it's a really challenging thing to do to get them to come down to the farm. But always extending the invitation is huge. Whether you're showing them pictures, if you go into the kitchen. I heard another person on here talk about going right into the back of the kitchen and looking at the angriest guy, and going to talk to him. But if you could get somebody down at your farm, that's just key. Locality is key. Yeah. So
So why don't you tell us a little bit more about what you look for from a chef's point of view? There's a lot of different aquaponic producers that listen to the show, and what do as far as from your point of view, what are you looking for, and what would how would they better market to someone like you compared to say a soil gardener or other things like that?
Okay. Availability is key. That's kind of number one. Is availability. If I know somebody has a certain product consistently, I'm going to go to them. If I work with a lot of local farms, and Ouroboros is the only aquaponic farm that I work with. I know what they have. I know what I can get. I know that the sizes I can get. It's that's a huge foot forward for a chef, especially in my position to where I'm working with all local farms. Whereas other farms, like, they got hit with a frost or a drought or something, so which affects their entire crop, which affects everything. So availability is key. As far as varieties go, you can. What I've come across is the safe bets are your mustard greens, your butter lettuce, your red and green crisp, your sized, incised. Those are your safe bets. Everybody loves those, and they're pretty. I don't want to use. They're common. They're commonly seen, and people have enough familiarity with them. Being a consumer, that is, I'm talking about, has enough familiarity with it that they're comfortable ordering something that they see on the menu that has that ingredient in it. What else? Growing sizes. I think I mentioned that already. Being able to actually. The other day, I just put out this beautiful baby head lettuce salad. It was just so gorgeous, and I've never seen anybody else do that. Where in all the restaurants I had ever worked in, just to actually have something that is so normally produced, and I've seen cases of it come in time after time of just this gargantuan heads that really don't look all that good, to actually get it to the size that I want it. So yeah, uniformity too, sizes, custom growing, those are all huge key factors. And then also something else I was thinking about is building value on your product. So again, aquaponics is a huge step forward environmentally. And if you're talking to a chef that has any inkling towards a positive impact on the environment, I mean, that's a huge role that you could play there. Huge card, I should say. Building value. Also, again, I'll repeat it, take them down to the farm, get them down to your farm, let them see your operation. I mean, that's going to give the chef the connection, because nowadays I'm finding the new thing is the connection to the food. People are so disconnected, but everybody's looking for that connection. And actually being able to step foot on the farm, talk to the person producing it, and say, hey, listen, you like this? Awesome. You want something different? You want this? You want a ruby streak? Awesome, I could get you that. I'll grow it. It'll be 6 weeks. It's like, those are the things that really drive a lot of chefs now. Just getting in there, getting the connection. It's like, okay, I don't think I can stress that one enough, just that connection to the food. I mean, hell, I even helped out Ouroboros for a little while, and I started, I love their product so much, I started delivering to some of the Michelin star restaurants in the San Francisco area, and I just got the beautiful box of produce and just kept the root system still on it, and it's just like, that's another advantage. You could say fresh harvested. I talked to somebody else that was even saying, well, this technology coming forward, you could even start having an app that follows your order, follows your lettuce. You could have each raft with a little scanner on, talk about basically from the time of seed to the table. So that's something new. Like,
He's giving
We
away our
do that now. It's
secrets.
called gaps. It's called gaps, and it allows you to sell to schools and all. You have to have everything labeled from the start to finish, so they can tell what plant and what row it came from in case there's contamination. They've been working on that for about 5 years.
oh wow,
He's,
cool.
he's giving,
See?
he's giving away the secrets.
It's the Department of Agriculture. You can look it up. GAPS is the initials. Gaps.
Okay, cool. All right, see, so something like that already exists, but now turn it to the consumer because everybody has their handheld devices now. It's like, shit, if there's an app for that, people will get it, people will use it, people will check it out, so using that technological curve to benefit you, so that's yeah.
So you've also worked with some of the fish from the farm. Do you want to speak on that?
Oh, delicious fish. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen trout that big ever. They're huge. Like, I've never played with trout that big. It's crazy. The catfish, so far I've just worked with catfish and trout. I've done a catfish ceviche, just amazing. Flavors delicious. Let me see. I was doing a dinner once, and a gentleman approached me, and he considered himself to be a catfish connoisseur, and he told me that it was the best catfish he's ever tasted. Now, I mean, sure, I'll take a compliment of my cooking, but hey, I can't create good food without a good quality product. So, I mean, but I know that Ken. I'm not sure if this is still true, but I asked him a while ago that he. If he used organic fish feed, and I know he still uses organic fish feed, but if at the time it was the only available organic fish feed on the market. But yeah, the fish is beautiful, big, delicious, fresh. I mean, doesn't get any fresher than that, Hell, I was in there in the tank with a net pulling them out. So.
Do you notice any difference in taste? Maybe this is just an ignorant question, but between the bigger and smaller fish?
No, I haven't. I haven't done a side-by-side comparison. What I have noticed, though, is the taste of the fat on the trout tastes different than any other fat that I've tasted on trout before. Well, distinct, so not bad, not good. It is what it is,
Interesting. We're doing a farm to table CBD dinner at the Ouroboros. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and tell people about that? Because we're super excited. This will actually be the first announcement we make on it, so I'm super stoked.
Well, I'm excited to play around and get in there creatively and serve up. I'll probably do a 4-course meal. I have yet to come up with the menu, but we'll see what's fresh, what the season offers, what the area offers, and working with you, Steve, and Ken, I'll definitely have access to some wonderful CBD and be able to identify the exact dosages and be able to customize that. I'm looking to be able to customize per person on tolerance level, and I know, Steve, that you have all that figured out, so I'm really looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun, something new for me. I haven't experimented with this with the public yet, so this will be a first for me, doing the CBD in public.
Yep, so we'll be doing a farm to table dinner, all CBD again because of the different legalities. We can't do THC, but we can do a really cool CBD dinner, which will be all local, just like his normal dinners, and it'll be a really cool time, and that'll be on June 23rd, but we're looking at right now. So we'll have the information up for that over at ouroborosfarms.com next couple of days.
Yeah, it should be a good, relaxing time.
Yep. Does anyone else have any other questions? His time is a little bit limited today. We'll have him back again at some other date, but does anyone have any other questions at the moment?
I've got one question because of the farm to the table, because we have that program too, just like the certified South Carolina grown. I'm on the East Coast. If I was going to go to a chef, what kind? And now you said, yeah, of course, I've always looked, but I live basically an hour or so for many of the good chefs. Okay, so I'm not that close, and like you said, I know I've worked in restaurants. both out the front and in the kitchen, and I know how busy the chef is if it's that kind of restaurant. And I was curious, is if I was trying to go contact these chefs to try to get them out here, what would I maybe grow to already have growing that would be real enticing to a chef? That's what I'm getting at. The kind of thing you walk in and that you as a chef and most chefs would say, I wish I could get that fresh.
Okay. I guess it kind of depends on your market. Are you marketing what are you marketing a busy family style lunch dinner restaurant, or are you marketing, or is your target market like a 1 to 3 star Michelin restaurant?
Well,
so that's
I basically just trying to get foot in the door restaurants where I can make. I used to have a couple restaurants I delivered to every week.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to get back in the door with something. I'm trying to think of something different to grow to. I created my own niche in the first place to get with Whole Foods by growing habaneros and poblano. I'm a big pepper.
I mean,
my farm's a pepper farm. That's what I do. But I grow lettuce and tomatoes and whatever. To eat.
Yeah.
I'm big on growing it to eat. To cook.
Well, I think an all-around good staple is microgreens. Everybody loves microgreens. However creative you can get with that. I've seen like micro carrots, everything. Super miniature micro carrots. It's crazy.
Okay, that's what my local. I hate this. The local hydro guy told me the same thing. Get into microgreens.
Microgreens are huge. You get a high turnover. It's like low grow time, and then best bang for your highest profit margin. I mean, some staples are again just butter lettuces, but then you could get into like your colors, your crisp, your red and greens, butters, crisp, sized, incised, oats. The cress is great. Mustard greens, they're just gorgeous. Flashy troutbacks. Heck, those are all.
Bok choy, you like that stuff?
Oh yeah.
15 to $25 a square foot.
Okay, well you answered my question. I thank you very much, because you just confirmed some things I thought and believed, and then you gave me some good ideas.
Just give again, just go with what people have an idea about. That gives them a basis of comfort, so they're not it's harder for people to go out of their comfort zone, so it's like, if they say, it's a red butter lettuce, I'm not used to that, but I've played with butter lettuce a ton, so okay, this is cool, different, but also something I'm sort of used to. So you just start branching out slow and sure like that. I mean, I know there are probably thousands of varieties that I have no idea about that you could do some research in and find something that strikes your fancy, but then offer those basic products and then start offering custom drawing, and that's when you get personal with the chef. Hey chef, what are you looking for? Hey, here are some new things. Here,
what can I start
help
for you?
Let me help you create a new dish or something to implement on your menu. So, in
a lot of places in the country, you have a big seasonal play in the now, not as much in California, but on the East Coast, you got much more of a seasonal thing too. So you can target what he needs during what season. Especially if you have a greenhouse. Well,
play that to your upper advantage. I'm originally from the East Coast, and totally play that to your advantage, because you're using indoor system to where you have control over elements that soil farmers do not. So unless they're growing in a greenhouse as well, just talk to the chefs, talk to the people who are cooking your food. If you're looking for, I'd say microgreens are blowing up right now, and
they've been
safe bet.
I think that's great, especially if I'm starting my first aquaponics greenhouse this year. Microgreens sounds like a perfect way, that and some lettuce, or some, like I said, bok choy or something like that. Because I know we got a decent sized Oriental,
Sure.
So
Tatsoi is another really good one.
Tatsoi, I'll look it up.
I'm sorry, you were saying something. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Something that just popped up is over at Ouroboros, they grew celery and garlic. Garlic was just fantastic and amazing, and it never went to scape, which was interesting. But
we'll have to talk to Steve about the garlic.
That was really good. But also the celery, it was interesting. It was delicious, but it was salty, and that was probably something to do with the water. But it was just different. And I mean, hey, as a chef, I mean, hell, you get creative with these nuances and these different things. It's like, oh, it's just another opportunity. So, not to say that it's bad, not to say that it's good, not to say that everybody wants it or not. But if you're targeting creative chefs who are looking to do something out of the norm, so to speak, or do something new and different, this is where you have the opportunity to offer a product nobody else has or nobody else is offering. So.
Awesome.
So there you go. Well, hey,
thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, why don't you tell people how to find you, your website? I put your links to stuff in the description, but why don't you tell people
Sure.
as well?
Right, well, you could find me at farmfreshchef.kitchen. It's my website. You could see on the food page, there's a few pictures, actually, and more to come tomorrow. I'll be getting a ton from the last fund dinner we did, but a lot of pictures of the fun that I've had with some of the food. You'll definitely see some of Ouroboros Farm stuff on there. One of the first pictures is the catfish ceviche, and yeah, you can contact me there. I've got it's linked up to my email.
Are you sharing recipes?
I will if you ask me. So, but no, they're not up there. So.
Oh, that's good.
Hey,
Awesome.
it's all about sharing. We're all in this together. Cool. All right. Well,
Thanks
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thanks for having me. All right.
Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh, how's everybody doing? What's new with you, Josh?
Just a minute. I'm rolling up.
Okay. What's new with you, Roger?
Well, I'm taking back my farm. I got to work my butt off today. It's got until about a half hour before the show. Came in and said, "Oh my God, it's after 8:30 already." But it's nice. We're getting to those days where, I'm up late at night, so I'm not like your farmer that gets up at 5 a.m. kind of guy. So I like the summer, this kind of year, when I get all those days where it's daylight till 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and I can still get my 10 hours in. So. That's so I'm very happy right now. We got all kinds of wildlife out here, and they're running around, and I've just been up here catching up with the farm, and I recovered one of my old hygronomics.com, which is a site that I've always taught hydroponics and green living off the grid, solar and wind, and it's what the site was built about. And I'm going to have, now that I've been with you guys for a year, I'm going to be adding an aquaponics area to it. Because that's really what I'm going to be doing new. I've got a lot of stuff, although I'm constantly experimenting. So that's about it. I'm getting ready to start a bunch of seeds and play around with stuff. See what, I got boxes of seeds, and I decided I'm just going to go. I got probably 200 pots with nothing in them. I've got all kinds of grow bags and poly bags and leach trays, and I've got just about everything you could think of that you put water in for growing. And then I've got tons of regular pots. So I'm just going to fill things with Pro Mix and throw a bag of seeds in there and see if it pops up, and then start putting. I'm just going to have fun this year. I'm going to overgrow myself to where I go crazy. But in the end, I might make a few bucks and help out some neighbors and feed some people that are hungry. So that's about it for me. I'll give food away if I know somebody, needs it. I'll be glad to give it away. So, because I will overgrow myself. I'll have stuff out there. And in fact, I was thinking I might do all this and with the idea that I could probably sell started plants just like they do at the store. Have people come over here and buy a plant that's already nice and healthy and ready to go and plant in your garden or whatever. So. That's about it for me.
I wanted to thank Norman again for coming on. I apologize for his briefness and then his background noise, but he's really, really awesome chef. He worked for a long time at the Ritz-Carlton, and is really, really, really good chef. So thanks again for coming on. And we had a bunch of requests to have a chef on and talk about, from a buyer's perspective, the produce end. So it was kind of cool. Thanks again.
It was nice because most people like him wouldn't have done it because they were at the restaurant, the cafe or whatever. They were inside. They had to go outside and in the back. whatever. Most people wouldn't even give that kind of time. Then they'd say, I'm too busy, So for him to take a break, his break is what he did. He took his break.
It's pretty much what he did, to be honest with you. That's why he had half an hour. I'll be honest with you. That's why that was like his dinner break. Just to be straight with you guys. So
so you can tell that restaurant business, if you're in there, the only time you'd have off is if you get a break, So that was great of him to give his break time or dinner time to us tonight. And I hope he comes back on a night he's off where he can sit around and really talk, let us really pick about food and stuff. And thank you very much, Norman, for that great answer about my question about what to grow to take to a chef, and say, try this, to try to get him out to your farm. And I agree with him too. It's hard to get him out there, but that's the whole thing. If you get them in that greenhouse and they see them vines growing vertically, and you got all these beautiful fruit all over the place, and they just, I know how I go nuts. So I can imagine if I was a chef going, I'll take some of this, I could cook this tonight, or tomorrow, so that was a big time thing we all need to know is try to I like he brought up your locality too, Steve. He brought up locality was that, and that's hard for me. That's where I said, well, I'm in over an hour from most chefs of that kind of caliber, and so that's been an issue for me. So, and it's interesting though. It's hard to get land anywhere close to them. That's the other side of it too. Depending on where you live, I guess it might be different in California. But I yield the floor to the next guy. That's all I got to say on the matter. Thank you, Norman. Thanks, Steve, for getting him on tonight.
Yeah, we had a bunch of requests for a chef, so tried to squeeze them on. What about you, Mr. Green Jeans? What's new with you?
Let me get this thing working. Yeah, not much. Just doing the usual thing. The pressing is really fun. The rosin is amazing. I've got that little wand, that little concentrate collector thing. It's not, it's not high tech. It doesn't have any like electric nail or anything. I'm still, I don't even have a torch to heat it up. So I heat it on the stove, but it works good. It has a little quartz tip, and but that's about it. And then the interesting saga of the people getting angry at me for not being the original Mr. Green Jeans. Ooh, I guess.
Well, you don't spell it the same either, though, do you, brother? You don't spell it the same.
I wonder how many of the imposters even really the imposters, I shouldn't say, even know what the origin of the name is, because it does have an origin in the arts, and then I guess I probably mentioned before, it's a music reference, and specifically that way of spelling it. Actually, you can find it spelled that way in 1969. Is the first of a song by Frank Zappa called "Son of Mr. Green Jeans." Right, so it's kind of funny because on my website, and it's kind of a joke. It says "Family Seed Makers since 1976." Right, so so people are like, what do you mean family? You didn't even have, your daughter wasn't born until 1988. And I'm like, yeah, but it's a joke because of my friend who gave me the name around 1976. And he was a musician, and he was referring to the song by Frank Zappa. He was making a musical reference to that song when he gave me the nickname. So so I was named that around 19. So so I guess I unfortunately the friend that gave me the name is dead, so I can't actually call him up right now. Hey, Bobby, can you prove to these guys on the podcast that I'm the original Mr. Green Jeans? So we can't call him up. But there are other friends that have known me since then. I'm sure could corroborate the story.
Well, pardon my ignorance, because I thought they were thinking you were ripping off Captain Kangaroo's sidekick, Mr.
Yeah,
Green.
and his name was Jeans with a J. It is in the
Right,
regular
like
spelling.
your blue jeans, green jeans. Yeah,
Right. But
right.
Zappa actually spelled it with a G,
Oh, okay.
which is
Cool.
incredibly clever, in 1969. And the full title of the song is Son of Mr. Green Jeans, which is sort of the joke when I say family seed maker since 1930. But what's really funny is now I actually have a son. Now there is a son of Mr. Green Jeans. He's about 2. He's 2.5 now. And so.
Well, when you hang out with a group of musicians and hang out and do that and for, work on instruments and all that thing like that, and all the other things involved, you end up calling those people family anyway. You know,
Exactly.
we consider our band and all the girlfriends and the family of them. And if something happens to their mom, it's like our mom, and you know, it's family. So that kind of, that's what I was getting out of what you saying, family thing.
The friend that named me that was a band member. He was the singer in my band, and he's a studio, a jingle singer, jingle New York City guy, a friend for years. So yeah, it's funny, the nickname. So yeah, so I mean, I don't know whether I should be flattered by people, wanting to take the name. I think that when I left, I won't say left, but the last time I posted very much on IC Mag, 6 years ago or whatever, that was probably there was nobody. I don't think this guy that's complaining, that's saying, and I don't even know if it's one guy or a couple people.
No, it's just one guy. And it's all because the whole thing spawned over. I realized I was looking for your YouTube channel and I found his. And then I went, wait, this isn't you. And I asked him, hey, why are you using his
I don't
name?
have one.
And then here's like the website. And I said, why are you like doing that? And I said, well, whatever. Like, I'm going to go tell the real one. And that's it. Like, that's all. And he accused me of reporting him to YouTube. He accused me of reporting all these other YouTube channels and starting all this stupid bullshit drama. And none of it's fucking true. I never reported him to YouTube, even after all this bullshit. I never, like, all I did was tell you he existed. That's all I ever did. But what happens is what actually happened is, and it happened to me too, is that YouTube's algorithm in the last 2 months has changed. And if you have marijuana or cannabis or pot or weed or 420 in any of your tags, it automatically flags it as cannabis and age restricts it. And so, and that's what the problem is. It has nothing to do with anyone's bullshit fucking back and forth stupid drama. The guy is totally off base. He went and attacked me.
He thinks it's because of that.
He went and attacked me on Instagram and made a total fool of himself when it didn't fucking happen at all. Like he's just a fucking muppet. But whatever. Like I'm not. Stupid people say stupid things. I have double the YouTube subscribers and a way bigger following, and I have more views in the last 24 hours on my iTunes than he has in an average week. So I could really give a shit less about what he thinks. But at the same time, it's stupid. The stupid infighting and blaming each other when none of us had to do it is fucking stupid. Okay. Yeah. We need to work together, and we have alternatives. So you have the guy from the Slings, and this is what I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to stand here and talk about and start a fucking stupid bitch match and fight and argue and make stupid shit. What I want to talk about is I want to talk about positive fucking solutions to this situation. So one, you have the guy from the Slingshot channel has started the YouTube Union, which a lot of cannabis growers have joined over there on the YouTube. On Facebook, there's a Facebook group you can join on there, and then they're actually working together to help actually form a conglomerate to actually take some legal action and try and actually block some of the recent actions by YouTube and give us some actual protections rather than this stupid infighting bullshit that doesn't help anyone, and no one did anything to anybody. So we got to work together if we're going to actually protect ourselves. If we keep pulling this kind of stupid bullshit for no fucking reason. And again, he called for people to report my channel. I basically demonetized my channel at this point because they auto demonetized everything anyway. So it doesn't do anything. All my stuff was already age restricted anyway. So it was just kind of funny. It didn't didn't have any. I think there was 3 videos that got age restricted. That was about it, because all of them had been age restricted 2 months ago. I had basically my whole channel demonetized about 2 months ago. So did Marty, and it basically Marty had a big long post about it. He spoke about it on the show, and after that, it's just like, well, whatever.
Restricted, they don't pay you. Is that what you're saying? Sorry.
Yeah. So my YouTube has been basically, with the exception of a handful of the videos that I have for like Ouroboros Farms for some of the veggie stuff. That's about the only stuff they haven't demonetized. But everything else has been demonetized. But that's just because because I tag it as cannabis or marijuana, because I deliberately tagged it as that, and it automatically flagged it. So
I didn't realize that. I thought it was just like restricting some access.
no, it looks at
taking
no
away
how the algorithm works, and a lot of people don't understand this. Is it looks at your video title, and then it looks at your tags, and it looks at words in your description. And if there's keywords in there that are restricted, it'll automatically flag your thing, and then it'll make you appeal it. That's how this whole system works. And what I've ended up doing is I backed up all my content to a cloud drive. So I have every single video on my thing, plus a bunch that I haven't shared yet on my thing on backed up. And then I got the whole thing backed up on SoundCloud, the whole thing backed up on WeedTube, and I'm looking at backing it up on another video place as well. And now it's also, I finally got it fixed. It's all on iTunes now. So if you're looking to listen to the podcast on iTunes, there's most of the episodes, a couple of them aired out. I think there's maybe 6 or 8 episodes that didn't upload, but I think there's at least 75 that worked. So we're going to work out the kinks on those last couple. I do apologize. But you will be able to listen to all those on iTunes and all your different podcast apps now. The RSS feed works. And, as long as it feeds from iTunes, you're good. So yeah, definitely check that out if you're on any of those. We've had over 1,000 listeners in the last day, so I'm super psyched on that.
Wow.
But yeah, I just it's just, there's no reason for us to fight and cause stupid drama. We all need to work together and fight this whole issue with YouTube. YouTube is shutting down a lot of different people's channels, or trying to, giving people bullshit ass strikes. One other thing I wanted to speak on, I'm a big fan of the organic farming community. A lot of people that do totally edible, completely non-ethanogenic mushrooms, like oyster mushrooms, lion's manes, their YouTube channels are being taken down right now because they're being accused of supporting drug production. And that's bullshit, because these guys are absolutely nothing to do with any of that. I've had 3 separate friends of mine from Colorado that are very heavy into the shiitakes. And I have a friend of mine that owns a mine that does mushroom production, and he lost his YouTube channel. This really sucks for these guys, and they don't have any way of recourse against that. So they're the only community that's being hit by this. We need to grab them, work with the other cannabis people being screwed with, work with the other people being demonetized, like the guy from the Slingshot channel, some of the gun guys, some of these other people that are all being basically penalized for no fucking reason, and work together, not this stupid accusing people of reporting. No one reported anybody of anything. It's the algorithm that's reporting you automatically. I've had that happen to my own channel. That's the reason why I backed up all my channel in the last 2 months. This is stupid. So,
yeah, I definitely, the whole thing about, I was all about sharing the name. I didn't even go back with any of the emails that the guy sent me. I was like, well, it's okay if you can use the name too, I mean, I don't know. Let's be friends, and I'll make a link to your place. Oh yeah. Are you looking for the other guy that goes by Mr. Green Jeans? Well, here he is. Why not?
Right.
I don't. That's I go along what you're saying. Let's work together. Why? And so anyway, for the record, this Mr. Green Jeans did not report you, other Mr. Green Jeans, whoever you are. And I wouldn't do that. That's not my style.
Again, no one reported you. It was the algorithm. The same way that my channel got reported, no one went out of their way to put a stick up your ass. So, just for the record.
And therein lies
we're all
the reason,
suffering just the same way, dude. It's not just you.
Shit. Whoa.
Therein lies the reasons why I build my own websites and monetize myself there. Drive traffic to the website and do your affiliate accounts and charge for what you want to charge for, or sell some products that you kind of sell exclusively. And I don't have Facebook business accounts or YouTube. I never really wanted them up my ass like that. I've always been, I want to be kind of private. I mean, I want to have some privacy.
I've actually been on I Love Growing Marijuana a couple times recently, answered a couple questions for me.
Awesome.
When I just straight up Googled, I was like Googling stupid stuff. Like I got a bunch of Cinex and I was like, how does Cinex do outdoors? I love growingmarijuana.com. Here it is. And I was like, whoa, damn. I went through that like 4 or 5 strains and it kept popping up just straight Google. So it was cool, dude.
Thank you. I'll pass that along to everybody and over there in Europe and all the guys here in well, not in the Carolinas, but in the United States, because the company's got employees all the way across this country and in Europe. And I'm not sure if we got anybody. We do a lot of business with Australia and New Zealand too. But they got all their hands on all kinds of stuff. Speaking of mushrooms, I was told, I don't know, it's been so long, I don't have any idea, but I was told they were getting into the mushroom business about a year or so ago, and I never really got, the company keeps growing, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But when Steve mentioned that a minute ago, and now you mentioned it, but I love it. We got over 500 articles in the blog. That's pretty cool. I mean, not everything you can't agree with. It's basically people say, well, why do you teach this? And then you got this article. Well, you got the article because some people believe that's the way you do it. So we basically just give you the information of all these different, methods and ways to do it and beliefs, more than we try to say it's only one way to do it and you got to do it our way or it's wrong. So we got over 500 articles, which well, thanks. I will pass it along. I mean, and they do listen to the podcast some, because like when we have a good show, I tend to I shoot them a link or something, and we do post the podcast and try to keep up with it in the I started, because of the podcast, I started the I Love Growing podcast network. So
no, dude, it's actually just to further, it's gonna save me a bunch of money, dude. I made a trade for some flour that I wasn't really wanting to sell for a bunch of clones, and the way it worked out, I ended up getting like, I don't know, 10 here and 12 here, and of like 4 or 5 different strains that were pretty popular, which just wasn't something I wanted to put in the market, because I don't want to be coming in and trying to be like, no, I got Cinex too, dude. I got Blue Dream too, and like, I'd rather have something a little more exotic and not be competing strain for strain. So, but anyways, I was like, I got all these plants and they're here, and with like Afgooey, Cinex, Cinnamon cookies, and I just started Googling, like, how do they grow outside? Because I was about to toss them, honestly, just throw them away. And I have the space. I have a whole acre here to plant. And it was like, no, they kill it outside. All of them, So it was all I love growingmarijuana.com. So I'm going to plant them up and it'll make me some money.
Cool. That's really cool. Where's our minutes? How many minutes are we on in the show, Steve? So I can.
What do you mean?
Like how long have we been on right now? So I have a timestamp of when to tell the people in the office.
We've been on for 45 minutes.
45 minutes, so it's about 7:15.
Yeah. 7:15 Pacific, yes.
Thank you. Okay. All right. I know where this conversation is.
Yeah. Josh, why don't you tell us what you've been up to?
Yeah, I was gonna show you guys these seeds here.
All right.
You guys are interested.
Put you on.
This is my Ponics setup. Not aquaponics. No fishies. Just the walk by. Yeah, no, there's a whole bunch of seeds here. Are you guys interested in seeing what I got or hearing about it?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Okay. It might take me a minute to decide.
Hell yeah. I had to get my
this shiz. Here it is.
They're about ready to be topped soon, yeah?
Yeah, I'm waiting to water them tomorrow and maybe top them early next week. And yeah, so I can sort my males and females. There's about 300 plants here. Yeah, so this is from BioVortex, or it's In Her Nature, I think is what he's going by now. And this is the Shiz cross Banana, cross Holy Crack, cross Sapphire Scout. And that Holy Crack cross Sapphire Scout is a cross. So this is Shiz cross Banana, crossed with Holy Crack cross Sapphire Scout. There's a lot of that in here, but it's really interesting stuff, I think. He's pretty famous for the Black Dog. Let's see.
I will say those CBD clones we got from that conference, dude, mine are kicking ass. They look so good. I don't know about yours, but mine are killing it.
Mine are stunted because I just put them outside. They got thrips by the time I got to them, and so I just kind of set them on the porch, and they're just hanging out. But they'll get there. I was able to sift the males though because of that, so that was cool. So this one is really exciting. This is the Black Dog, and I think he's on the F5 with the Black Dogs now. So it's pretty cool. It's grown in the Santa Cruz area. He is where he breeds all his stuff. And this is the Black Lime Reserve across the Black Dog, and the Black Lime Reserve is, I believe, aficionado release, Mr. Mean Gene. So that's a pretty dope cross. And then another one of his is the Athena, crossed Holy Crack, cross Sapphire, cross Black Dog. Let's see here. And I got some of Pacific Northwest roots here. What is this? Key Lime Frap. He's up here in Washington, I think out in the Anna Quarters area, and they're just recently licensed and about to blow off. They have an incredible, if you guys don't follow them, you should follow Pacific Northwest Roots or Worldwide Roots. They have an incredible wash facility for making hash. He just went on and was posting it. It's Kaya. And yeah. This is cool. This is Sinex Kush. This is from my homie here in my neck of the woods, Eagle Trees, Mount Baker Highway, Kenny. Got a couple of his. Sinex Kush. Unicorn Feathers. I can't remember what the cross is on that, but that's HBK Genetics. This is Mount Baker Highway, Eagle Trees as well, the ACDC crossed Royal Kush. And he is that Royal 7 from Mendelbrot from back in the day. There's a lot of stuff here. This is also from him. Oh, no. This is Equilibrium Genetics, Cherry OG crossed Gorilla Glue. He did a number of Gorilla Glue crosses that I got. I got a Forbidden Lemon Gorilla Glue cross. Super Sour Orange. I can't remember what that is. I think it's the... there's so much stuff here. I have to look back at my notes to go through it all, you know. It's kind of embarrassing when I start looking at it. Super Sour Orange. That's the Purple Anarchy from Rebel Grown. Super cool dude. What is that? This is all Cherry OG glue. He puts a lot of beans in his packs. Hamma Hamma, which is a Pacific Northwest roots as well. And the Hamma Hamma is an oyster that is up here. So it's named after oyster, Hamma Hamma Oyster Company. And then also Mount Baker, Eagle Trees, Lavender Chunk Norris. And I just smoked some of that last couple days ago, and it's really, really fucking delicious. I'm super stoked. Sherbert Glue by Equilibrium Genetics. Sunset Sherbert, Cross Gorilla Glue, obviously. Let's see. Orange Harley Sue. Speaks for itself. This one I'm excited about. That is HBK. This is also HBK. Green Candy Jack. Green Crack cross Candy Kush cross Jack Hare. So should be stinky. Double OG from Rebel Grown. Let's see. DM. What is DM? I got a Mandarin crossed banana, crossed sapphire scout, crossed holy crack.
I love that one. Holy crack.
Yeah. And then the Black Dog 5, I got the straight Black Dog 5, which I'm stoked about because I think I told you guys I live right by the beach.
What is the benefits to that?
It's so he was telling me that it's super mold resistant, and he's growing it. He's breeding that along with Equilibrium Genetics in Santa Cruz area. So it's just by the ocean, wet, and I looked at the buds, and he like from a in the inside his bag, standing up, he was crouched over, and I saw it, and I was like, "What's that?" When he opened the jar of buds, and he's like, "That's the Black Dog, dude," and I was like, "That's outdoor." And he's like, "Yeah, full term outdoor." And I was like, "Okay, give me those seeds." It was just, from a distance, you could tell it was fire. Oh, there's probably a few more I'm missing in here. I'm trying to see. What is this? Oh, that's the Mandarin banana. That's what that is. DM. What the hell is DM? Oh, Diamond Masters. Yeah. I can't remember what the cross is, but that's HBK as well. And he's a super cool dude. I'm really excited about this one. He's done really well with it. He's down in the Central Valley area, and he actually takes summers off and does his work fall through spring, which is a pretty dope way to go. It gets really hot there in the summer, 115. And he's what I would call like a ultra nano farmer. He's working small little spaces. Probably similar to you, Mr. Green Jeans. It's amazing to me to see to be able to select like that. I mean, yeah, I'd love to hear you talk about it more, just to make selections with, small.
You always need to cram as many plants as you can into any space. I mean, no matter,
Look at my space.
I think any breeder.
I mean, it's like, so
There's his space.
I'm new to this, but I'm new to crossing stuff. But when I cross it, it's like I get to do 100, 200 seeds, and it's really easy, I got all this area.
Do you want to show everybody an update on your greenhouse too?
Yeah,
Last week?
They're coming too.
Love it. I just love it seeing that.
Yeah, it's the weather just turned for us here. Finally just stopped raining. And today was 75 degrees. And my goldfish made it in my pond, I found out, which is cool.
Yeah, it was 76 here today. It feels like we just turned the corner too. So
Yeah.
I was really excited about. That's what I was talking about, starting 1,000,000 seeds in the next couple of weeks.
So this is the stuff I was talking about, Roger. I was going to toss all this right here. Just seems kind of crazy, but I'm just going to plant it out in these hugelkultur beds. It'll fill it up and let it go.
That's what I do when I got too much stuff here and there. Well, I mean, I can't grow cannabis outside, but if it comes to produce and stuff, I get too much. I just find places to plant it. I'll go make a new row bed in the ground. I'll go buy another bale of Pro Mix, and I'll just go to it, and start growing everywhere. I mean, I'm ready to start hanging plants in milk jugs just to have more plants.
Yeah, no, that's how I do it. I planted these covers this week. Can you guys hear me? I don't have my headset.
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
We can hear you. Yeah.
I planted a bunch of creeping thyme. This like low growing, 1 to 2 inch perennial woody stuff, right? That like those
Is that
are
different?
fires.
Is that different than English thyme?
It is. It grows 1 to 2 inches, where English thyme will grow 6, 12 inches, 8 inches, And that's kind of the whole thing. It's like really low. It's woody, so it's fungal dominant, and it's perennial. And then I planted a couple of these guys. This is azalea, not azalea. I don't know. Look at my tag over here, but they're actually in the Brassica family, which does not support mycorrhizae fungi.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Right, but Suzanne recommended it because it helps the the bugs, the beneficials.
Okay.
I
It's a
actually hit up
banker.
Efren, and he's like, yeah, if you just do a few, it's all good. Here we go. Acyllum. Sweet acyllum. Am I saying that right? Alyssum. Jeez. Alyssum. Sweet alyssum. So I have, I planted, whatever, that many 12 in the whole greenhouse. So it'll help out. But I still have all these extra plants. These are all Sinex here. I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm all planted out, and I just got to, add trellis, and I'll be off on the races, really. This pie hoe's jamming. It is,
I was loving it.
that's my belly button, between my belly button and my chest, and I'm 6'1".
Those are gonna be monsters.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna have to hack them back too to slow them down with these guys. So it should just be top, just go. Yeah, this is. I'll walk over here. This is something I just kind of did naturally. I got this flexible ducting with holes in it, and then just a little 4-inch fan, just sucking air and moving it upwards, blowing it up. It was just something I used to do back in indoor growing a long time ago, and I set it up. I haven't done all the beds yet, but after talking with some guys who are doing like big greenhouses, I was commenting on how there was really low airflow in the facility. Like in indoors, we just blow fans, all it's chaos, and they started talking about convection and how they want all the air moving upwards, and so they really work with root zone heating, and so I was like, oh well, I kind of do that in this weird way, and so I don't know, we'll see. I think it's pretty good deal just to have a little air to move everything up, and then it gets hits by the half fans, and then anything up there is getting dumped around, and so I kind of got my chaos up here, but through the canopy, otherwise in here, there we go, it gets a little quieter for a second. It's so dense. And I'll hack this back for sure, I'll
Yeah, they need a good haircut.
yeah. I'm so busy.
That's what goats are for. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, I wish I show you guys this over here, my other little hoop house. I let my ducks, I have 2 chickens in this 1-acre facility and 3 ducks. And the ducks are totally cool.
And the chickens are assholes.
They're assholes, yeah.
Yeah.
They totally destroyed this, dude. I mean, it's 6 one way, half a dozen the other, like destroyed / put a bunch of awesome nutrients in there. But I'm going to totally have to fix it. These were beautiful beds, I don't know, 18 inches tall, actually. And they're just flat and just spread out all over the place.
Oh, they dug them out. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look at all, you can see like stalks and stems. Look at this. It's just gnarly. So.
Wow, that's a bummer, man. That's a
2
lot
chickens,
of work.
dude. I know, yeah. Look at this.
Jeez.
Boom.
Oh, man. Holy crap.
Yeah, they totally were. I mean, this was high, dude. This was way up here, But this is a farm.
Yeah, like I said, once you open a greenhouse, there is no more days off. You don't get vacations. You never get to do nothing. So you got to love growing, everybody out there. If you're going to open a greenhouse or start a farm, you better love growing because you're going to be doing it every day until you stop or die. So
yeah, the sun just grows. Indoors, it's a different thing, but outside they just grow. But we got rice, mice, and rats. So that's why I was showing you guys the kitty. She's prego, which is a good thing. And yeah, a lot of people don't want cats around their garden, because the shit is toxic. But we need some help on the mice front.
Toxoplasmosis never hurt anybody. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you heard him say, everybody, he's just kidding. Okay.
Right,
All
right.
complaints go to Marty at hotrod.com.
So here's
APMS.
something I'd be curious if any of you guys have messed with, like something like this. So I got these lights here from Home Depot, and my plan is, since I don't have light dep in any of my facility, I was gonna like plant everything out. You know, plant this hoop house out tomorrow or the next day, and then plant these beds out. And I got a bunch of these lights, and I was gonna hang them and keep everything in I don't know. I was kind of even thinking of keeping it in 24-hour lights. You know, keep the lights on all night, and then when we get to July 1st, turning the lights off. So we'd go from 24 to, I don't know, whatever it is then, 16, 15 and a half
You
hours.
might shock them. If you're doing outdoor, you'd be way better off making it like 16 or 18. You're
Yeah,
gonna fuck with them a lot
But my
less.
point is to like, just like we do indoors, to trigger them hard so that they flip quick and then finish quick, right?
They won't. They'll soft trigger and they'll get all weird and they'll slow growth and then you won't get as good a yield. I've experimented with that exact thing in a greenhouse in Colorado.
Okay, thank you.
and I agree too. Cause I hate to jump on Steve's, but for different reasons. I just believe that you need to have a rest period, and I like to grow at 16 to 18. I mean, I never grow longer than 18, but I'm more prevalent. I try to grow at 16, and I find that if you do that and emulate, you have those shorter days. You can also cut down on your stretching. You know, of course, outdoors, I'm not sure since I can't really grow outdoors like that for that plant, but so I'm not real sure about that, but I've always liked the shorter photo periods because of better root production and the fact that the plant transitions a lot easier. It transitions, nicer and more consistently than all of a sudden.
There's hormone production that only takes place at nighttime, and you really
Right.
need to give them that nighttime thing. Now, you can get away without it, and it will work, but you're going to end up with more issues. Now, let me ask you a question before I even say this. Are you running those lights 24 hours a day, those red ones right now?
No, it's
Okay.
it's not practice that. So you're preaching to the choir on that aspect.
Good deal.
It was
That's
just
not a good idea.
I was kind of thinking of this trick, this way to like get my outdoor thing jamming quicker. If I like kind of just did this thing, that way, because that way it would be. And I got the idea from when I was in indoor a couple seasons ago, and I had them on 24 for whatever reason for a short period of time, and then I was going to outdoor, so I was trying to match the cycle, right? And I dropped down to 18. I was kind of making my drop down. And one of my strains triggered at 18 hours, and I was like, "Oh, damn, that sucks." And then later on in the season, I thought about it. And I was like, "You know what? Actually, that I could use that to my advantage. What if I, so I kind of concocted this idea, but I never really reached out to anybody to see if
You might get lucky, but 9 times out of 10, what'll happen is it'll stunt growth, and then maybe in August it'll start growing again, but it'll be all weird, and it'll increase your chance of herming.
And don't you get some more foxtailing?
You'll get more foxtailing, you'll get more finger leaves, like single finger leaves, and you won't get as bushiness or the density out of your buds. But you might prove me wrong too. But that's the experience that I had.
That's the truth. You never know. As soon as you tell somebody they can't do it, then they do it, and it comes.
What do you got to say, Mr. Green Jeans? You look like you have something to say.
No, I agree exactly with what Steve is saying, because the bump is not good. Going from a really different time zone, to that's it's better to ease them into it. If you're going to give them some kind of outdoor lighting, it should be close to whatever they're going to receive around midsummer, which is June 21st, right?
Yeah, the equinox is June 21st.
June 21st, longest day. So, I think you should definitely ease them into it, trying to give them. The other thing is that the idea that 24-hour day cycles gives you faster growth, I'm not really convinced of that. I really think plants grow a lot at nighttime. I think they need a minimum of 4 hours. Okay, let's say if they're doing really well, otherwise, the plant's growing really fast and everything in all other ways, then I think they even need their sleep even more. So plants that are doing doing
I mean,
well need
I
at
totally
least
agree.
4 to 6, maybe 8 hours or whatever, because really beyond that, I don't really, I think it's diminishing returns. I don't even really believe that
Right.
you're actually making any money there, is
And
in
see,
my
one thing they've
experience.
proven.
Because
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I
One thing
and
they.
the other thing is I think you should try to ease the plan into whatever day length you're going to
Yeah.
be using. You should
Right.
be using your outdoor lighting as a way to, and you should figure out pretty much exactly what your day length is going to be there at June 21st.
Well,
And
see,
probably,
that's what I have done in the past, and my whole idea was to like get that to trigger harder and faster, and get that from July 1st. Whenever I did that, you
I
see what
see,
I'm
to get
saying?
another flower and to get them to flower sooner.
Harder, yeah.
Because
So to flower sooner than they naturally would. So even if I backed off to,
where
so
are
I
you?
did,
What's the latitude? You're up in Washington,
yeah, I'm up
right?
in Washington, almost by Canada. I'm 49.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't
Yeah.
realize.
so
Okay.
my dark it's like 17, 16 and a half
Got to get it
hours
done.
of light
Yeah.
uh around that time. And so what I was
Understood.
thinking is
A
and
long
I
dim
maybe I
day.
keep them at 20, and then when I get to July 1st, right, we're at 15 and a half, I turn the lights off, and that drops them from 20 to 15 and a half, and they should trigger right then hard, and the light keeps diminishing, and so we should go right into the fall season, and I should be able to harvest early September and avoid the rain.
Maybe
Question question mark.
there's a theory that plants that only see decreasing days, and this is about seedlings. It's a theory about seedlings, not about clones. So I'm not sure what you're doing there. But the idea that seedlings that only see days decreasing will flower sooner. So in short, in climates where you have they're high in latitude, you have a very short summer. The later you plant, uh, you know, you don't give the plants is better. It's a theory that with seedlings, it's better to plant later in farther north areas. As a matter of fact, there was a book written on that a long time ago about growing in the northeast climates and stuff like that, by Peter Oakham. Anyway, yeah, the idea that planting late gives you that exactly what you're looking for, that jump on that more percussive finish to your flowering. That if
So
plants only see the day decreasing from the time that they're put in the ground. So we're talking about, clones or something else. So there's probably a way to manipulate that idea. So
sure.
in other words, yeah, plants are only ever seeing and never seeing the day increasing. They're only seeing a decrease. And I think it's a good idea. I think what you're talking about, and it could probably be right around June 21st. Why not have it be at that point? Or maybe that's too early. I don't really know. Maybe that's a really great season for you, because maybe that's the time when you want to encourage a lot of vegetative growth, because in your region, that's kind of important for you. You want to get trees. To encourage a tree is kind of difficult where you live, right? You only got a
Yeah,
certain window
but
of time.
I'm a pushy sucker, and I'm outside right now. You
Right.
saw, and
I
most
saw,
people
yeah.
aren't. Yeah, and I think I'll be okay. I can rectify the situation with a lot of midnight work if I have to.
Yeah. Well,
But
I mean, I think it really could work, but yeah, probably like 20 hours at the most of supplemented
let me
daylight,
ask you
maybe
this:
even
this is
less.
sort of an ignorant. Yeah, I should know this answer, but what is the term front that it takes a seed to reach maturity? Because I know, like early on, they won't just flip into flower. They need to reach sexual maturity. What is that?
That's a month
Is it a month?
minimum. But really, I like 2 months. But I mean, I'll let Mr. Green Jeans answer too. But
I flower plants really, really early a lot of times. I mean, let me see if I've done 5 generations in a year. Whoa, that's finishing the plant in 2 months or less, isn't it? From seed.
from seed.
But you're starting
So
them.
like,
You're starting them before they're finished too, aren't you? I mean, you're starting the next.
Well, I'm talking about taking a generation, taking taking the
Oh,
seeds
okay.
off of another plant.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm pretty sure I've done about 5 generations in a year before.
Wow. Wow.
so these guys, like the seeds I
Just
showed
barely
you,
over 2 months.
you know,
That
they're
has
like,
to do with your small cups too. I think the forced flowering and the small. That I think that you're able to pull that off because you're using the small vessels to grow in.
But the
That's
question of how early can you sex a plant? You know, how early can you
yes.
flower a plant?
yeah.
I
Most
think right
people say
away.
2 to 4
you
weeks.
think right away. I heard
Well,
otherwise, and I'm obviously wrong.
I think genetics are going to play because certain genetics just are not all that sensitive anyways, and some sativa things, really got a lot of momentum. The seedlings have a lot more momentum than they do later on. If you take a clone of them and they settle down, later on as a clone they settle down, but as a seedling, sometimes sativa genetics have momentum. They're like, they just grow like crazy. They take off.
So like the ones I just showed you, they're probably a month old, maybe a little bit older. Honestly, like I haven't been taking that great of care of them. They didn't have a lot of light when they were indoors, and now they're outside, and they have been for 5 days. And I just kind of did a quick count, and we're getting about 9 hours of darkness right now. And should I be worried? Should I get some light on there to keep them in vegetative state, or I was under the impression that because they were seedlings, they would just kind of roll on through this.
If your days are still getting longer, you don't have to change your light period. If you got 9 hours of darkness, I always grow at 16:8 to start. Period. I never grow at 18 or 20 or anything like that. Well, clones can take it a lot, in my opinion, too. Clones can take the 18 to 20 hours a lot better because they're already a mature plant genetically than a seedling and all the hormone, whatever that's got. Mr. Green just said sativa that's taking off. I just put this. This is like a week and a half, 2 weeks old, and I put it in this cup yesterday. Now, this sucker jumped an inch and a half overnight.
Right.
Oh, by the way, this is the cherry pie, Mr. Green Jeans, I told you about. So I don't know if you like the looks of that or anything, but it's a cherry pie right there.
That's one of the things that was supposedly one of the ingredients in Girl Scout cookie, I think.
Yeah, we were always talking to you. If I was waiting for you to remember, that's why I figured maybe if I showed it to you.
Durban poison,
poison,
cherry pie, and something else. Another
cherry pie was made by Durban Poison, wasn't it? Durban Poison OG.
Maybe. I thought that was those were the ingredients to make Girl Scout cookie.
You might be right on that. Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. What were we talking about? The
light.
Smoking that rosin. Yeah, the light. Yeah, I really think that it's you don't need a long day length, a shorter day length. But those look pretty good. I mean, they don't look like they're growing slow or anything. They probably could. Maybe it's cold there, right? I mean, it's still.
Oh, totally. Yeah, we just
cold at nighttime.
It's they got down to 38.
Yep, it's warming up here. I'm worried about spider mites already. We're looking at this next week is going to be hot. The mites are going to be like, wow, let me come inside. Can we come in? You have some tasty plants indoors there.
That's the other thing I think Mr. Green just kind of made a point. Your plants look like they're growing incredibly good. I don't see, it's like if it ain't broke kind of thing. It's like watch the plants. If they're going ape shit like that, I think you're in good shape.
It's only because I have to repot so much. It's just so much repotting all the time. And I have to do it because I've got a whole bunch of different clones, a whole bunch of different cuttings, and I'm trying to offload, some of them. Well, I mean, as much as the other family members and stuff can carry them into their garden and everything, it's good, So and every time I get a little room, I start couple more waves of seeds. You know, I got to make room for seedlings. I always have to run a few, you know, got to run a couple seed runs now and then. Always curious.
Yeah, I'm going.
What's next?
Check this out. What do you like? You see this? What do you like the way that looks?
It's beautiful.
This I can't believe that I was able to get. But the company stuff. This is Maui Wowie. And actually, Josh, you were going last week. You were going all when I showed. It sounded like you were kind of drooling over my strawberry Kush mother plant.
Yeah,
I actually have a strawberry Kush seedling. Let me show you that.
It's really funny because I see a lot of. I saw something the other day called Durban Poison that looked exactly like my Oreo, and. And of course, it makes sense because people can remember Durban Poison a lot easier than they can remember Oreo. And it really, you know, what's in a name, I always say, you know what I mean? Who knows? You know, I'm fortunate to know that the Durban Poison that I got was, you know, really from because I have the friend and whatnot. But for example, with Cherry Bomb, whether that's really from Maui Wowie or not, I mean, I'm not exactly sure. You know, that goes down to my dealer's connection in New York City. You know, who really knows, right? At the time. So,
There we
you
go.
know, what's in a name, right?
right.
But it's always nice to be able to at least be able to give the reference of your trace whatever, you know, gave you the right to use that name. You know what I mean? What's the story? What's the lore that goes along with that? Is the
Well,
most
because none of
important
us got any of this stuff, you know, normally like by going to Lowe's.
thing. Of course not.
There's
I
some
go to
stores where
Lowe's.
maybe you did go to Lowe's, but it was in the parking lot.
No,
So
you
that-
definitely, the story is what counts, and you know the reputation of the breeder is everything. It's the whole thing. You know, that's what you're selling is the truth. That's what I was always saying is I could be bullshitting about Cherry Bomb. And somebody recently on IC Mag I saw in one of the threads was saying, hey, you know, that story sounds familiar. Isn't that the story, same as the old Chem Dog something or other story? And I was like, yeah, you know, fuck, I don't know, you know, I'm 60 years old. I probably changed it, you know. And it's true. My daughter did call me out on one, you know, recently and say a detail saying, oh yeah, you said this, you said that. And of course, anything is possible, but that's why it's great. Now I'm glad at least, you know, to get the story out into the public. And back in the day, I was paranoid to even write it down, as I've mentioned before, as well. I should have been, right? You look at your written notes, and you're like, oh my God, if I get busted, you know, this is a trail to prove that I've been doing this for the last 3 years. It's a great relief not to be living in that situation anymore. To be able
Well, even, you know, just
to
honestly, like even showing you guys my garden, it's illegal. I'm legal, licensed, but I think about it a little bit. I'm like, do I really want to show that? You know, I don't know who's watching. You know, I'll take that as far as your mind wants to take it, right? I don't know who's
great.
watching.
Oh, I agree too. Yeah, I feel the same way after a show. Like I just showed 3 seedlings. You know, it's like, well, I just spilled the beans, didn't I?
And my business name sits right there. You're looking at it. I mean, yeah, I'll just spell it out for you guys. But you can look on the internet and see what I sell and see where my address is, and it's, you know, it's not that hard.
Right. If I show another male plant, we could get shut down for porn, right?
Yeah. But you know, I tell you what, I get when I get paranoid, you know, because I've been doing the moderator thing for over 12, 13 years. And you know what I get, we don't get it as much anymore because we've educated, and the membership kind of tell people right away. They get all freaked out all of a sudden. Oh, wait a minute, I posted something on a canvas for them. Oh my God. I said, well, there's thousands of them. And the law is not looking for the small grower anymore. There, in my opinion. I mean, if you flaunt it in their face, in a less than legal area, you might get popped. But they're really not looking for you because they know you're staying home, minding your own business. They're looking for the crack dealers and the meth heads, way more than they're looking for a guy growing 6 plants in his freaking closet,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You
No.
are 100% right, and I think that's a good message to bring because there are a lot of people. I'm worried about like the the county guy that's looking at my shipping containers or something like that because they're not tied down right.
Well, yeah. Now, see, I got that too because I got a farm like you do, and I got a frickin' my yard looks like I'm like the guy you used to drive down the road and say, I can't believe their yard looks like that with all that shit in the yard. And now I'm the guy with all the shit in the yard.
It happens, man.
Oh, geez. Yeah, it does.
So did you guys have anything else you wanted to bring up? I've been just busy working on license applications in a couple of different places. I'm probably not allowed to be any more specific than that. Just working on multiple license applications. If I say any more, I'll probably get myself in trouble.
Well, that's something else that you wanted to ask what I was doing earlier is that we've got a guy in Canada that's starting a 10,000 plant farm. He just got the lease on a reserve in Canada, and we're trying to design that farm for him. And if everything works out, we'll be seeing you guys on the West Coast here in the next couple of months, probably. So I'm sorry, Steve, but you sounded like you were just telling us about doing the same stuff. So I figured that's a perfect time to throw that out there.
Cool.
And Steve might help me too, a little bit.
Yep. So just working on applications in Canada and the U.S. You probably not get in trouble with saying that. Just finalizing a bunch of paperwork. I'm sick and tired of looking at spreadsheets, I'll be honest with you. Other than that, we're working on, can't talk about it yet, but we're working on a big event that I think y'all will be super stoked on. Event details coming soon, hopefully in the next 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll be able to give you guys more details on that. I think you guys will be really, really stoked.
Your mic's gone to hell, Steve.
My mic's gone to hell?
Yep, gone to hell in the handbasket.
How about now?
Yep, that's perfect. Yep, look,
Okay.
I mean, we're all we got the thumbs up and thumbs down thing going on, really.
All right, so we're working on a cool event behind the scenes with some really awesome people, and hopefully I'll info on that in the next 2 weeks. So that'll be cool. We're working on what else do we have going on? I have Chris Trump on next week, so that'll be really cool. If you're into Korean natural farming, he's one of the best. So that'll be really, really awesome. We have a couple of other cool guests lined up after him. So that'll be really, really great for you guys. I got the podcast finally after it took me 2 days worth of tinkering to figure out what was wrong. Finally figured it out, but our podcast now works on iTunes. So be sure to check it out over on iTunes if you have an Apple device or over on SoundCloud or on the WeedTube. I uploaded all of our podcasts over to theweedtube.com, which is now a YouTube alternative for cannabis friendly and growers, as well as mushroom production. Basically anything that YouTube's kind of cracking down on right now. They're pretty friendly too. So if you go to there and click on the podcast section, you can find all of our episodes. That took me the better part of 5 days to do. So
I just realized it's going to take me 5 days to upgrade all the links at ILGM, where we have your podcast all listed.
Well, I had to download 87 episodes. Each one's about 2 hours or more, and then re-upload them, one in an audio format, and then others two in video format. So I worked on this day and night. This was a labor of love, and I panicked when we started getting a bunch of the age restrictions on YouTube, and went, well, if they're going to nuke my YouTube channel, I don't want to lose all my work. And I don't think you all would want to lose all the awesome content that we have. So I sat back and just ground out, backing that up for pretty much 12 to 14 hours a day until I got it all backed up. So that'll be cool. So if you're interested, we have it available in all formats now. If there's a format that I do not have it available, let me know. And it might take me a little while, but I will figure it out. Just let me know. if there's a platform or something that you need me to get it on, let me know. I think I figured most of this stuff out now. So I appreciate those of you patient, and I also appreciate there was 4 or 5 of you actually that when you saw that it was finally working, actually went and reposted it to a couple of places. Very much appreciate you guys doing it. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks a lot for sharing all that.
Also, finally got around to like setting up my Instagram, so I'll be posting some stuff from there soon. So I don't know. That's what I've been up to. Working on some more classes for you guys. Yeah, we'll have a teacher boot camp this summer, which would be pretty cool. So if you're an educator and you listen to the show, we'll have a couple, like a 3 or 4 day class, all set up just for educators, which would be really fun. So aside from that, just the normal classes coming up. You can catch them all on ouroborosfarms.com. What else do we have going on? That's about it. It's a little bit of a slow week this week. I apologize, guys. We originally Chris Trump was supposed to be on this week, and then he had to push it to next week last minute. So we got Norman on, and his time was restricted. Marty actually had was not able to join us tonight. He had something come up last minute. He'll hopefully be back with us next week. But I did talk to him today. He just was unable to join us last minute. He had some family stuff he had to take care of. So. What else is going on? I don't know. I know Fish Ganji guy has been working on his new job and stuff, and I don't know. It's a little bit of a slow week today.
Hogmaster's moving. He's moving from the Midwest to over here in the South. He's coming down south. He'll live 1 state over from me. He'll be about 4 or 5 hours down the road when he gets moving. That's why he's not around tonight. Well, he's been working his butt off as many hours to make as much money as he can for moving. And then, he's been selling stuff, and he's just been working his butt off. So he's been going to bed early because he's been getting up around 5 in the morning. So that's why he probably didn't make it tonight, most likely.
Yeah.
Just to talk about another panelist that we have sometimes.
Yeah.
And I did see I had a dummy sighting today. Yeah. I had an aquaponic dummy sighting, on Facebook. On Facebook, I ran across the post he made on.
Yeah, I got 2 sets of plants going. I got some CBD plants and some THC plants. They're both doing really well. I'll probably maybe throw a video up of at least the CBD ones. The THC ones are kind of crammed into a space that's kind of hard for me to film in there because of the space size. It's not much bigger than like a grow tent, so it makes it kind of hard. But I'll get some videos up at some point of those too.
I got a question for you. Since we talked about this yesterday or today, I don't know if it was yesterday or today. Why don't you explain? I asked you a question because somebody very dear to me that's older, I'm not going to say who on the live cast, but are wanting to use CBD oil, and I was worried that at their with their status with their retirement and say the VA and stuff, I was worried about if they used the CBD oil, if they would flunk if they somehow ended up with a cannabis test and could possibly lose their not retirement, but their medical benefits or something. Steve, could you address that real quick for people, because I don't think that's very widely known what we discussed.
Well, so it depends. Now, if there's THC in it, if it's medical cannabis derived, it could be an issue because they don't know as limited on the THC values. But if it's from hemp derived from CBD isolate, then you'd be totally fine. You're not going to test hot.
And would you say that all cannabis plants, even though they're CBD, are going to have some level of THC in them? No, they've actually got strains.
No, there's some sativas, some African sativas have no CBD at all.
Okay. But that's not widely spread and available to everybody either, is it?
No, those are mostly sativas, and then like more of your hardcore pure sativas that you're gonna find like southern half of African continent.
Is the drug test that's commonly used, is it for THC specifically?
It's for the THC metabolite, as far as I understand.
And the dogs, what are the dogs triggering on?
Good question. Good question.
because we can
So
breed that out.
the dogs hit on a terpene. There's two different terpenes they train the dogs to hit on, and that's what they train the dogs to hit on. So if you have a fully dewinterized wax or shatter, for example, in theory, the dogs won't hit on it because there's no terpenes. If you can strip the terpenes out completely.
And I did push the limits. The dogs in the airport are not sniffing for weed.
Well, allegedly.
Well, I flew all the way to Chile.
Allegedly.
Right out of the garden, like after spending maybe 6 hours in the garden with my jeans, taking fan leaves off 3 weeks in, didn't wash them, just went straight on. It didn't even think about it either. And like then there was a dog, and my wife looked at me and I was like, well, I just got out of the garden, so this is gonna be a deal. If it's a deal, it's gonna happen now. And nothing, dog didn't even nothing. So feel like they're really just looking for bombs.
Oh yeah, they're looking for any little hard people. They're not looking for weed. But I did, coming off of the Portland airport, I did have them shake me down and probe me, and then basically admit to racism, which was fucking crazy. But that's a story for another time.
Yep.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything else? Any other topics they wanted to bring up? I know, Roger, you had something I think you wanted to mention.
I just mentioned that about the CBD oil.
Yeah. No, I meant you before. You had something you wanted to bring up the next time we had more of a panelist show, and I don't remember what the topic was because I'm stoned now.
No, what I said is next time we know for sure we're having a panelist show, I'd like to take a little format out there with a bunch of topics I'd like the panel to discuss with all their.
Do you want to bring up one or two?
Do what?
So do you want to bring up one or two since it's only
I just came out of the sun a couple hours ago. I'm not.
Answer me, damn it! No, I'm just kidding.
I don't have. Let me check my notes.
What's going on with that lady in front of you, Mr.
Oh, what?
Well, I said, what about what's going on with the lady that you're holding right there? Is that a lady or is that a guy?
Oh, it's a guy.
Oh
yeah, it's a boy.
Why don't you show people? A lot of people don't even see males.
A boy. Yeah, he was dropping too. Like I thought I had him showing a little bit earlier when he's like literally making it.
Look at the fingers on that sucker, man. It looks like an alien.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, it's a nice plant. Yeah.
Wow, check it out.
20-ounce cup. Yikes! Oh my God, it's a tree.
Yeah, I tried to get a 20-ounce cup, but the old lady brought me the little one. So
I rarely put males in anything. They rarely get any bigger than in the 20-ounce cup. They don't really need it, of course. But it's a beauty. The structure. Steve was asking about this plant. This male does have obviously nice flower structure that you can tell it's going to make the female equivalent of that is going to be nice. You can just kind of see the way it all packs on there. I don't know if you can tell or not. But there's a ton of little dudes all in there, and then it's just got a good general structure. It's a good plant.
What strain is he? Indigo Go-Go.
This is a white wizard. It's one of my old one of my strains that I started right in the early 2000, around 1999 from White Widow. My friend gave me. He brought back some seeds from Amsterdam, but he didn't give me the whole bunch of seeds. And he only gave me the 2 clones of 2 different females. And so I had no male to start with. So I had to outcross to something that I had, so I outcrossed to something of mine. And that's why it's not really White Widow. It's about 1/8 something else, but it's 7/8 White Widow, White Wizard. Yeah, this is a nice plant from a male from generation number 8.
Sorry.
It's he's cool. He's been a long, he's been progeny tested a lot. You know, he's like, that's what another thing we're talking about, like how to choose a male. That's one thing that inbred, you know, an actual inbred strain. Whoa, shit! Sorry, you guys still there? That is, it's use my family. It's useful for something. Yeah, I think. Sorry about that. That's what a strain is useful for. Is the male is being able to choose a male from it and knowing how it's gonna affect things. You know what I mean? Not that that not that you know that double and triple hybrid males are not good. Also, they could be fantastic as well. I'm not, you know, and I'm not saying that a male from a strain is superior in any way. I'm just saying that uh, in a cross, especially with something, an unknown clone that you have, some clone that you really like, it might be good. It might help in subsequent generations because you kind of are going to know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? You'll know what the influences are going to be from that strain in going on down the road. So it can just make some kinds of breeding projects that start with a cross easier, which is really where the choice of male really counts. You know, we're talking about, and that's really where it really matters a lot, is in the start of something new. You know, you have this wonderful plant, this select female that, you know, it's probably started with a feminized seed or something like that. So you've got to find something to cross it with. And what you do, what you choose, you know, the exact choice is really important. Sometimes,
Yeah, that's
you
why
know,
it'd
we
be
just,
so nice to have the male, is because if you had all these nice, you know, female or feminized seeds, then you've got the one male you can do. It's a benchmark, and you can breed each one of those feminized seeds and find out what comes out special. You know, that's what you're
exactly.
getting at, right? That's
Exactly. And a male that comes from a strain, yeah, is like prepotent in a sense that you kind of know what you're going to get from it. You know what I mean? So it's very predictable in what it's going to throw. And also in subsequent generations after the cross, things that happen down the line are predictable as well. Not exactly predictable, but those traits are going to be recognizable and easy to sort. You know what I mean? So in generation 2 and generation 3, you're going to know what came from your unknown clone, which was previously unknown. You've only got this clone, or, you know, maybe this wonderful plant that you grew from a feminized seed, and you have no idea what went into that plant. You don't know how it was bred, but you're going to see as you go, as you breed with it, as you make it F2s and things like that. You're going to see what
And
went into it.
Indica Dogo says, how can he get some Mr. Green Jeans genetics?
Well, there you can get a cherry bomb from Swami. He's got pure cherry bomb. I just about got wiped out this, and I'm gonna be making more. You know, and I'm really gonna have to get commercial. I mean, I've only just been allegedly, you know, doing this by business, by word of mouth, but I'm gonna have to be commercial. Go on my website and email me. I'll hook you up somehow. Let me know what you want, you know.
And what is your website?
What's that? Oh, greenjeansgarden.com. Yeah, you can also find me on Reddit, and me and Steve are also, so I have the r/greenjeans Reddit/greenjeans subreddit, and we also have hydroponic chronic, me and Steve have together.
Aquaponic chronic.
I'm sorry, aquaponic chronic. Aquaponic chronic. Thanks, Steve. Yeah.
Yep.
That's where you can find me. The real Mr. Green.
One of the way too many social media things I have to juggle, yes.
I know. Reddit is cool though. Reddit is fun. And it's a big, huge community, but you can really learn. The sub for rosin is fantastic.
The extract one for extracts is really cool too, because you can get some really off the wall questions answered that you normally would not be able to get a good answer to. It's really good, especially if you have a really bizarre science question, particularly in regards to cannabis extraction. It can be a really good resource.
Yep, Reddit is very generous. People are very generous in sharing, and you can watch the really swift, progression of rosin technology. You can just about see it happening, with everybody sharing it really, really freely there, and that's great. That it feels to me like the internet working the proper way, like it does here on this podcast. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, on that note, does anyone have anything else they want to talk about, or should we wrap things up and just call it a night a little early today?
Yeah, I've got it. Oh,
We're good. Yeah, we're good.
All right. Well, I really appreciate everyone for joining us. We're going to have a little bit shorter episode this week. And then next week, we'll be back again with Chris Trump with Korean Natural Farming. Big thanks again to Chef Norman for joining us. Again, the first CBD aquaponic farm experience farm to table dinner will be on June 23rd. So if you're looking to check that out in Half Moon Bay, California, be sure to check out ouroborosfarms.com. We'll have the info up, I think, in the morning. It goes live at like 9 or 10 a.m. or something. I forget. Something like that. Anyways, be sure to check that out. And yeah, if you're looking to check out my channel, Potent Ponics at Gmail, Potent Ponics on YouTube. If you're listening to this in the audio format, we are live on YouTube every week at Potent Ponics on YouTube at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Thursday evening. And if you have a guest you'd like us to get on the show, just let me know. You can email me at potentponics@gmail.com. Also, shout out to Marty. His Patreon is AP Meds. His YouTube channel is also AP Meds. He normally joins us, but he had a family thing come up, so I just want to plug him again. So thanks a lot. And why don't you guys tell people how to find you there, Roger?
I'm at ilovegrowingmarijuana.com, and I've reopened my my self-substantial site, hygronomics.com. Right now, I've just got a blog there with an introduction. I'll be adding some content, and maybe a forum and a gallery, so I can share pictures with everybody there. So that's going to be my little project. Plus, we're still working on the network with all of us, but we're also busy growing and teaching that, we can't get our own projects together all together. We're all working in different places. So I'm working on that. But after spring planting, I think we'll be looking at, we'll have the telephony appointment kind of network going on where you could probably get a hold of some or several of the panelists at times by appointment, and we're going to try to share knowledge that way too.
Cool. What about you, Mr. Green Jeans? How do people find you?
I'm on greenjeansgarden.com. I'm also there on, I have my account there on I Love Growing Marijuana. I got to get over there and get that current. And I'm on IC Mag.
Yeah.
Get back on that. Get current there too.
Cool.
I'm a member there, but I never had time to go to IC. It's a nice place though. I like IC Mag.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I should spend more time there.
Forums.
And thanks
Gypsy, to thanks to you. We had Gypsy Nirvana on last week. He was great.
Fun, wasn't he? He was
Hell
fun.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
We got him on again. That was a blast.
He was great. Thanks to all the listeners.
Hell yeah. That was one of our most listened to episodes, especially for the short period of time when I'm meeting up to over almost 500 listeners in a week. So wow. Shout out to them. And then we've had over, as of this right now, over 1,100 listeners in the last 24 hours as of getting all the iTunes kinks worked out. So thanks a lot to everyone for listening over there as well. What about you, Josh? How do people find you?
On Instagram, Dutch Blooms Organic Cannabis is the main deal I do. I also just started a couple Facebook groups that I virtually have just a few people in them. One is the Science of Organic Regenerative And then the other one is kind of more like even more narrow. It's about using the microscope for the soil food web. And so it's like specific tips about folks who have microscopes and want help talking about identifying microorganisms, so we can like teach each other, type deal. So yeah, that's on Facebook, which is kind of new to me to do that. And my name is Joshua Rutherford, so that's I'm hosting there under my own true real name. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot for posting all your stuff, and thanks a lot for taking the head and take the time to put on a bunch of cool conferences. Those are by far the most knowledgeable and informative conferences I've ever been at, and I appreciate it. And I feel honored to be able to speak at those, and I look forward to speaking at future ones and all the cool stuff that you're putting on in the future. So, thank you.
Thanks, man. It's super fun. Just like I said before, scratching my own itch. It's I'm learning, and it's cool to just learn and kind of orchestrate the learning a little bit. My own learning party.
Cool.
That's a pleasure.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you guys again next Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Again, we'll have Chris Trump. He'll be all the way from Hawaii next week. So it'll be a lot of fun. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care.